Hey there guys, in this video I'm going to be showing off my Loki build, but before I do that I just gotta say quickly, this build is made for newer players, so if you're an older player around Master Rank 15 or higher, something like that, this build isn't for you, because this build is aimed for newer players that don't have access to all these, Prime Flow, all these kind of like crazy kind of rare mods, because again, like most of the builds you see on YouTube are made for people around Master Rank 15 or higher, people that have all these mods, all these crazy mods, rank them all up. Like most people can't actually get a lot of these mods. A lot of the newer people can't. So I'm gonna be making videos where they're for newer players. The builds for newer players. And this is because I'm a newer player, so I can't even make any of these bigger builds, and because I just want to give them out. So I just want to give people builds to start so they can build if they don't want to figure out a specific build for Warframe. I can give them one and also give them notes on like other things they could do as well. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, let's get into this video. So we all know what Loki is. Loki is probably one of the best frames. He's not as good as he used to be, but he's still very viable for most gameplays. And we all know what Loki's ability is, and if you don't know, it's invisibility basically. He's the master of being invisible. He's the go-to frame if you want to be invisible and you just want to be invisible. And that's why I've chosen to build towards invisibility. One, because it's his bread and butter. It's the one thing he's good at. And it's probably his most useful ability. And also it's pretty easy to level up. So and again, in leveling up all these, I'm going to be in leveling it in modding for invisibility. I'm also going to affect all these as well, so just letting you know that as well. So yeah, the now let's actually get into mods here. So as you can see, the first things I'll just talk about the my redirection and vitality. Now these two are here because if I ever do run out of energy, which is very rare, as I have energy siphon and flow and that kind of stuff. If I do, I want to have enough health and armor so I just don't die instantly. And if I don't want to just use my energy, I want to save it up for a scenario where I do want to go invisible constantly and always want to be invisible when there's like a horde of enemies around. I want to have armor and shields, not armor and shields, I mean health and shields, so that high enough so that I just don't die instantly. So that's why I have these two on. They're very useful. And also, again, there isn't really that much to mod, especially for a beginner for Loki, because again, Loki's bread and butter is pretty much going invisibility and durate and that's a good thing and also a bad thing. One, because you really have nothing else really to mod for, and it's you're only for invisibility, or only thing you can mod for is increasing duration. While unlike most other Warframes where they have several different things you want to mod for when using mods. For this, you don't really need you don't need Intensify or any of those other ones, or Stretch. Honestly, I've Stretch here. You honestly don't really need it. I just have it there, and I'll explain why I have it there later. But honestly, you don't have that many mods on, so I just kind of I just like to fill up the space with something that will be useful pretty much most of the time. So yeah, so that's why I have it there. Now the next mod I have it is Streamline, which is probably again one of the most important mods. Streamline and Continuity and probably Flow are probably the most important mods in this whole entire build. And this is because it allows you so that your invisibility doesn't eat up so much energy, which I don't know how much it normally takes. Actually, I'll go check, because it with Streamline it takes a few without states. It takes about 50. With Streamline it takes 35. Makes it extremely easy to not run out of energy so quickly. And with Energy Siphon, in the time that you use your ability, about 15 seconds, you're going to get back pretty much most of energy. I think it gets about 20 of it, which saying if you have 200, you're going to be able to use the ability heaps, and then it's going to slowly go down. So it's just good to have Streamline on to make it less energy hungry for your invisibility. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. It's very good mod to have on most Warframes. So yeah, that's it. And I just talked about. I'm just gonna go into Energy Siphon because I talked about it before. This is extremely important in my opinion for a Loki build because it gives you energy. Basically, it allows you to as you can see, it increases. It gives you energy over over like a second or something. So it's very good. It gives you a lot of it gives you a lot of energy. As I said before, it doesn't give you enough energy so that you go to the point where you're going to make back all your energy. It just kind of gives you energy so that you don't eat through your whole entire energy quickly, because most of the time you're going to be invisible a lot of the time, so it's just good to have energy loading up so you have energy left over. And also, another thing I have for energy is flow. Now this increases it to like the energy to being 450, quite a lot of energy. It's heaps to fill, and most of the time I don't really fill it to 450. It's only occasionally where like I don't really go invisible that much, because they're pretty easy enemy. Like lower level missions, I don't really go invisible that much because I can just kill them quickly and there's no point. So most of the time in those missions I fulfill the energy quite a lot. But most of the time you're going to, as I said before, you're going to be going invisible quite a lot unless you're in one of those, like when you're in those high missions. So you're going to be eating up energy very quickly. Again, with energy siphon, it's not going to be as quickly as it normally would, and also a streamline. But you're still going to be eating up, so you won't be getting to 450 a lot unless you're killing heaps of enemies and then like getting heaps of like energy orb things. So that's a possibility, but it's just good to have it on, so like you can have 450 energy, and by that point you pretty much can be invisible for the whole entire mission. Like once you get to 450, it's unbelievable. So yeah, and now we have stretch right here. Now the reason I have stretch is because I said before that invisibility is probably the ability you're gonna use the most. Well, sometimes I use switch teleport and also radial disarm. Occasionally, when I use switch teleport is when I'm in those scenarios where there's heaps of enemies and I just want to like get out of there as quickly as I can. I don't want to go invisible. I don't really do any damage. I just want to get out of there. So I like to have it so I have like pretty far range when I can do it, and so I can escape it a lot further and get out a lot. So I'm out of the combat a lot quicker, and so that's why I like to have it. And radial disarm is have it on, so saying if there's a heaps of enemies and they're all shooting at me, and like I don't know, I don't want to use, so I can just dismantle them. And also if I'm in a team with people with like heaps of enemies around and my teammates are just getting utterly destroyed, I can just pop it. All the enemies weapons get taken off. They pretty much all become melee enemies. So it's a good team ability in in those kind of scenarios where there's heaps of enemies. So it's a good team ability, very effective against a lot of enemies. Very good ability using sorties if there's a group of enemies and you're being utterly destroyed. Good ability to use when you disarm all of the weapons. They basically become pretty much useless, and you can just run through. And it's there's heaps of scenarios you can use this in, so it's good to at least increase the range so you get more and more enemies. The damage doesn't really matter. You kind of just want to use it for disarming all the enemies. So yeah, that's pretty much when you use it. Because again, when you're in those kind of like sorties, doing the damage of that isn't really going to be that much. So you kind of just want to use it for that ability. So there's no point for modding for that. So it's just a very good team helping ability, like a good enemy controlling ability. Yeah, so it's just good to mod for stretch and just have that on. You don't have to have stretch on. I just prefer it for those kind of moments. You can probably put on I only have broke one, so I don't really use it as much. But if you have equally, you can see what it is. If you have this mod right here, a full one of those, you could also put that on instead of stretch. Also very good. As you can see, it when you pick up health, it gives you energy. When you pick up energy, it gives you health. When picking up energy gives you health, not that much useful because again you won't be visible. When you pick up health, you can you can get energy. That's pretty useful. That's the useful part there. So that's what you want to do. So yeah. So at that point, it's kind of again you can do it if you want. I wouldn't recommend it because again it's kind of the thing where you can only pick up health when you have like damage in your health, but most of the time you're gonna be invisible, so you won't be taking damage that much. So like, what's the point? So again, that's why I don't have it on. Yeah. So you can do it if you only want. I just first stretch. So saying that. I've already talked about continuity, increased duration, very important, that kind of stuff. Already talked about vitality, and natural talent. Now, this is a kind of a weird one. I forget where you get this one. I'm pretty sure you get it from Lua. You get it from the moon doing those challenges things, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you get it from doing these challenge rooms. I'm pretty sure is what the mods you get from it. So I think you can get it. I'll search up if you want to find out. I'm not 100% sure. I might put in the description if I remember to do that. I put in the description where you could get it. So yeah, but well, as you can see, it improves casting speed. Now the reason is saying if there's a massive horde of enemies around me, and I need to go invisible. No, sorry, scratch that. If I'm already invisible and then I become invisible, I want to be invisible as quickly as I can because I want to get out of there as quick as I can, or be invisible when I'm using my Esteletta. I want to like be invisible and then just flying over enemies and just like basically being a bomber, just killing all of them. I don't want any of them seeing me, and it's just a good ability as well. It also allows you to it's a very good one for speedrunning, like running through missions, as you could, like, not really speedrunning, but like as I said the example before, when I wanted to get away from enemies, I just wanted to use my 30 build, which basically switches enemies away from each other. You could put your little copy dude over. What you could do? You could use your fourth ability, decoy. Use the first ability decoy. Push them all over there. You can, and with that you can spawn them really fast. And you just put them straight in. Then you press your 3, and then you switch them. And you can basically, it can be unbelievably fast, and you can get out of like scenarios where you're surrounded by enemies and you want to be out of there extremely quickly. So it's just good to have that on, and it's just good so like you can turn invisible extremely quickly and then get out of there. And now we have Rush. Now the reason you want to have Rush, in my opinion, again, this ability can switch out. It's just more of a preference at this point. The only abilities which I recommend not switching out are definitely these three. These three you shouldn't switch out, and also Energy Siphon. And ones I say you shouldn't switch them out, but you can if you want. And these ones you can switch out. Like I don't care. These kinds of preferences. But so preferences. But Rush, what it does, it increases your sprint speed. Now this is good because Loki's one of the fastest Warframes just with natural speed. So it's just good to have the increased up and get it like extreme. Like he's probably one of the fastest natural frames, and so you can increase that so you're even faster. You can just run around, and it's I don't know. I just like being fast. And running around and going around and jumping and kind of stuff. I don't know. It just increases speed. Again, you don't need it. It's just kind of a preference thing. I don't know. I just kind of have it on there. I have no real reason to go on there. You could probably put on fast deflect, or armored agility, which pretty much just does the same thing except it also increases the armor. Which again, you can put armor mods on, but I wouldn't really recommend it as increasing the armor on like lower armor enemies. As Loki isn't really that low of an armor enemy, but he isn't a tank, and so it isn't really that important for you to put armor on. So I wouldn't recommend it. You can if you want. You could put on vigor instead of rush if you so want to. That's probably a good one to put on. And if you're going into actually, yeah, so you can pretty much just put those on. I'm just having a look through. Yeah, that's pretty much what you can do. Yeah, so you don't really need rush. This is something I prefer having on so I can run faster. I kind of just like running around the map as well. So it's just kind of up to preferences. This one you can switch out for anything. These two, again, they're not as needed, but you could. I would still recommend you having them on. This one, you don't really need it all. You can take that off if you want. These ones I would recommend you keeping on, but you can take them off. These ones I would recommend you keep them on because they're pretty important for just pretty much any Warframe. But you can take them off if you so want to. And these ones I say you should have them on because they're very important. Oh, also this one up here. So these four are very important to Loki's build. So that's just a saying. So yeah, and that's what I recommend. I also gotta recommend a weapon, Esteletta. Very good with Loki. In my opinion, the way I like to play Loki is to go invisible and then like have a crowd of enemies and just like jump around, like just blast them out of submission, make them just utterly destroy them with this, and they don't see me, they don't know I'm there, and they don't do any damage to me. But yeah, I'm doing damage to them, and I just kind of just like that kind of gameplay. You could honestly use any other weapon. It's already that important for what weapon you use. I just prefer the area damaging ones because they usually damage the most enemies really quickly, and so they're not as fast as an auto rifle, like killing wise, but they're still very good. And Astroleta is a very good weapon, so I kind of just like pairing Astroleta with Loki because they kind of in my kind of playstyle the kind of playstyle I use Loki for, they kind of smash together, so I kind of like that. So yeah, but like I'll release a video later, maybe my next video, a couple videos down, for a build for Astroleta, the build I have. I'll just show you a quick just a quick glimpse at the build I have on it. You know, it's a pretty basic build. Yeah, so that's the build I have. I'll just go through all of them just quickly for you. See what if you don't know what they are, that's what their abilities are. So yeah, there you go. That's the build I have. I'll go into depth later on in a couple of the videos exactly why I built it like that. And yeah, so there you go. That's my Loki build, and yeah, I recommend you using him. He's probably one of the best frames. He's not as good as he used to be, but you know, from what I hear, but you know, he's still really good. I recommend you getting him. So yeah, okay, see ya.